Well, it's time to talk about the honest truth of who will win between Invincible and Titan. But enough about that, let's do a quick rundown of both characters, see who would win. Hal Stewart, the man behind the camera. All he wanted to do was get Lois Lane, Roxanne Ritchie. During the investigation with the Blue Man Group's secret lab, he was accidentally shot by this gun, which gave him access to the powers of the strongest man on Earth, Brad Pitt. Nah, I'm messing with you, it's Metro Man. After finding some leftover DNA, Megamind was able to recreate the source of his power. After accidentally getting shot by said gun, this basically means Hal is as powerful as Metro Man. But how powerful is Super Elvis? First, let's talk about his most famous feat, his speed. Well, if you pay close enough attention to this moment, you can see that Metro Man fades away for a second. In this moment, he was thinking about what he wanted to do with his life. Let's assume that this book is over 300 pages. By the way, I know the book doesn't look like it's 300 pages, but let's just go with it. According to CapitalizeMyTitle.com, it takes about 8 hours to read an entire 300-page book. Let's say that Metro Man was moving at a microsecond. This means that Metro Man has been moving for about almost 29 million microseconds. And if we multiply this by 1 mile, this means that Metro Man has been moving at 152 billion miles per hour. Meaning the final calculation states that Metro Man is moving 226 times the speed of light. But what about strength and durability? What does he have in that department? Well, according to the movie, Megamind had to build a death ray powered by the sun, which Megamind even stated he doubted would work. Though not hit by it, let's say that he was. Let's assume that it hit with the power of a supernova. This means that Metro Man could survive over 1 billion tons of TNT. And thanks to being infused with the DNA of Metro Man, Titan has all of it. He also has flight and laser vision. Unfortunately, there's not enough feats for Metro Man for strength, so let's go off some of Titan's feats. During his first ever fight with Megamind, he was able to send the robot he built hundreds of feet up in the air like it was nothing. Or cutting off half a building and then just lifting it like it's nothing. Let's say that this building weighs about the same as the Empire State Building, and then cut it in half. This means that Titan is able to lift over 180,000 tons. But enough about Titan, it's time to talk about his opponent. Mark Grayson, the son of Omni-Man. Your average high school kid. Your average high schooler with superpowers, at least. For context on this, his father is known as a Viltrumite. And if you don't know what that is, think of Superman as a Spartan. After confronting his parents and telling them about it, his father starts to put him through training. After his training and a little change in his costume, he set off on his first mission and sent a guy flying through buildings, introducing the world to... Anyways, throughout the series, Mark has shown a lot of growth. During a fight with a villain known as Dr. Seismic, he was able to survive the shockwaves. And these shockwaves can be powerful enough to shatter boulders and even create earthquakes. He's also shown that he's capable of keeping up with Seth Rogen Alien, the same alien that Nolan struggles to keep up with. And during his fight with Omni-Man, they both ended up destroying the entire city, which means that he's on par with Nolan, who is capable of flying from one galaxy to another within 1 week, and is able to crack open Mount Everest. He's also on par with a Viltrumite known as Conquest, who can break through Eve's constructs. And during this fight, despite being bloodied up, beaten, broken, and nearly ripped apart, he still kept going. He even insisted on destroying Viltrum, a planet, with his father and another Viltrumite. And during his fight with the most powerful Viltrumite ever, Thrag, they were battling on the surface of the sun. Even an army of them dogpiling on him couldn't even stop him. And when I mean dogpile, I mean dogpile. Like, not even a joke. This is hundreds of them trying to kill him, and he's just powering his way through them all. Jesus Christ, and I thought Mortal Kombat was bloody. But it's now time to talk about who would come out on top. And it may come to a surprise to some of you, but this is a really close match. But let's get past one of the biggest gaps in the entire fight, the strength. As stated before, Titan's best feat is lifting half of a building, and we stated that this building could weigh up to 182,000 tons. Though it's impressive, it's not on par with Mark's best feat. It takes about 50 megatons of TNT to destroy a planet. Since all three of them did their part, that means each one of them hit with the force of at least 16 megatons of TNT, which should make Mark at least moon level, making it a 270 times gap. But now it's time to talk about the most controversial one on this list, speed. As stated before, Mark is on par with Nolan, who was able to travel from one galaxy to another within 1 week. The distance between the galaxy and our own is 65 million light years away. If we multiply by 1 year and divide by 7 days, that means that Nolan was flying at about 3 billion miles per hour. However, this is countered by a whopping 152 billion mile per hour feet. Unfortunately, that feat is mainly for Metro Man, not Titan. Keep in mind, Titan is nowhere near as experienced as Metro Man. Metro Man's been doing superhero stuff since he was a kid, so what's gonna make it so Titan could do this in a week? Keep in mind, the story of Invincible goes on throughout years of Mark's life into his 500s, meaning he has far more experience than Titan has. However, Titan's and Invincible's durability might be on par with each other, as both of them have survived at least some kind of a supernova level threat. The only difference here is that Titan probably could have survived unscathed versus Invincible, who was clearly being burnt alive. Well, now that the analysis is done, we can officially determine who would win. Cue the music.